Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When Taylor catches Brooke with Ridge, Finn finds it difficult to reveal to Steffy that he is Luna's father. Steffy asks Finn what's upsetting him at the Cliff home. Finn thinks to himself, you can tell me anything. How do I tell her Luna is my daughter? She encourages him to talk about whatever it is. Finn does not believe that this is the appropriate moment. He has a complex and difficult to explain message for her. He is struggling to process things on his own. We'll handle whatever it is, Steffy reassures him, acknowledging his understanding. Finn is certain that she doesn't want to have a heated discussion tonight. Steffy is aware of how much it weighs on him. We can overcome anything. Their love for one another has only grown stronger, and nothing will separate them or ruin their evening. Tonight, according to Finn, is about them and all that they have conquered. He'd rather not ruin it. He mentioned something she needed to know, Steffy reminds him. Now you're not going to tell me? Liam accuses Luna of being a psychopath. Liam and Bill talk about Steffy and Finn's anniversary in Bill's house. After everything they've been through this year, Liam says it's a big one. He and Kelly nearly lost Steffy because of Luna. Luna appears remorseful in the background. Finn was there for Steffy when she needed him, Liam informs Bill. Billy reflects on his tendency to misjudge others. Liam must admit that Finn was correct about his psychopath relative Luna. Luna is paying for her misdeeds, Bill informs Liam. Liam contends that she is not liable for the harm she caused him. She persuaded him that she was his daughter, he reiterates. Bill is adamant that he has moved on. He doesn't have to put on a show for him, Liam says when he asks how. Liam says Luna was around the children at Finn's house, but he doesn't like to consider what might have happened there. According to Bill, Luna is no longer a threat to anyone. Liam claims that's simply because she belongs in prison. Taylor interrupts Ridge and Brooke. Brooke tells Ridge at the Forrester house that she felt deceived by his hasty shift to Taylor. She is there because she values their relationship beyond everything else. He will come to understand that she took his place at Forrester. She gripes that without each other, they are unable to resolve this. They must work on their destiny and future. Brooke notes that although they have done this previously, it will be challenging. It hurts a lot to know that you're now with Taylor. We made a commitment to one another that nothing would ever separate us. She is totally committed to him regardless of her employer. As Brooke says, I'm right here, asking you to come home, Taylor enters the room and reflects, Brooke. I wish I could claim that this is unexpected. Taylor is informed by Brooke that she is there to see Ridge. Taylor assumes she's attempting to persuade him to overlook her treachery. It's a misunderstanding, according to Brooke. There's nothing to misunderstand, Taylor responds, adding that she is standing behind Hope and Carter. Brooke contends that Steffy and Zend are also employed there. Carter has been discussing his regrets with her, and she believes he is beginning to understand the wrongness of what he did. Taylor inquires as to whether she and her daughter have also been having these discussions. Steffy is now forced to answer to Hope and Carter. Is she referring to that as a misunderstanding? Yes, replies Brooke. It was never supposed to occur. When his friendship with Taylor is brought up, Ridge steps in. He advises Brooke to return home. Brooke visited him and assured him that her commitment to him is unwavering. I am your Logan, and I will always be so. We can overcome any mistake. Taylor rolls her eyes. Ridge apologizes to Taylor for having to interrupt after Brooke leaves. She wasn't shocked. Ridge wasn't either. He hoped she would express regret. This is what she does, according to Taylor. She screams and begs after going too far. He needs Brooke to be his partner, Taylor tells him. The fact that she didn't realize how much she had deceived him is startling. Brooke examines a news release at Forrester that announces her as the CEO of Forrester Creations. She shows Ridge that she is still prepared to battle for their unbreakable bond. Brooke starts crying as she looks around the office. Ridge glimpsed her through the keyhole and they reconnected in Rome, she recalls. She makes a commitment to never give up on them. Taylor tells Ridge at the Forrester mansion that she is no longer insecure about Brooke. She has always been powerful, he exclaims. People depend on you. Taylor is amazed that their shared experiences over the last few months have earned her trust. She has faith in his love for her and their future together. They embrace and kiss. Luna says she's sorry. He tries to give Liam the bum rush at Bill's house. Liam notices this and asks him a question. He notes that they've all seen his disconnection and are attempting to determine the cause. Bill assures his son that although he has a role in his life and that he is proud of him, he must attend to something at the moment. Liam will respect his father's privacy and refrain from interfering. They give each other hugs. If it's not another woman from his past who has a psychopath kid who also happens to be Finn's cousin, Liam continues. As Liam leaves, Luna is disappointed and Bill remains silent. Bill is informed by Luna that all of Liam's statements were accurate. She turned against her own family because she was so preoccupied with the idea of having the ideal father. How could she have done that? In particular, to Finn, whom she loved dearly. Finn doesn't share his secret. Finn wants Steffy to understand how much she means to him at the Cliff House. He values her and the children beyond anything else. They serve as his inspiration for all that he accomplishes. She swears she won't forget that. They embrace, and Finn appears concerned. You're my world too. Steffy assures him that despite being strained to its breaking point, their love has endured. On 2 occasions, he rescued her from Sheila and his insane cousin Luna. Finn gives a sigh. She assures him that nothing could be worse than what they have already experienced. Finn cuddles her and whispers, "You are my whole world, honey." He is informed by Steffy that she is going to the bedroom. After being by himself, Finn takes out his phone and examines a picture of him and Luna. Perhaps we can finally celebrate our anniversary. Tomorrow, my love. Tomorrow, I will reveal that I am Luna's father. Taylor interrupts Brooke as she tells Ridge she will never give up on him, and Finn withholds the truth about Luna from Steffy. Monday, February 10, 2025, Taylor overhears Brooke suggesting a reunion with Ridge. Luna hears Liam disparaging her, and Steffy encourages Finn to talk on Bold and the Beautiful today. Recap of Friday's B&B. Brooke informed Ridge that she still has hope for them as Finn was ready to tell Steffy the truth about Luna. Steffy assures Finn that he can tell her anything at the Cliff home since she feels that something is amiss with him. How can he tell her that Luna is his daughter? Finn questions. He informs her that it is not appropriate for him to tell her what he needs to do right now. He is barely able to comprehend it. She strokes his face and tells him she can manage. She insists that there is nothing they cannot conquer, even if he doesn't want to start a heated argument. She is certain that nothing can ruin their night and that they will always be together. He does not wish to ruin the evening. He takes her hands and expresses his love for her. He values her and the children beyond anything else. He is also her universe, she tells him. Their love is an unbreakable force, not just an emotion. He lets out a long sigh and tells her that he would hate for anything to stand in their way when she brings up his crazy cousin. He gives her a hug and tells her that she is everything to him. Leave for the bedroom, she says. He pulls out his phone after she leaves and glances at a photo of Luna. He resolves to be honest with Steffy tomorrow. Luna hears Liam disparage her to his father at Bill's. He is aware that he had problems with Finn, but he has truly supported Steffy. People misjudge people, according to Bill. Liam claims that Finn was correct about his crazy cousin while he is drinking. He has moved on from what Luna done, according to his father. Liam keeps talking endlessly about what she did and how he dislikes thinking about it. Bill assures him that she is no longer a threat to anyone. Liam responds, just because she's in prison, where she belongs. Although he tells him he appreciates him, his father wants him to leave. Liam claims that he feels estranged from his sibling. Bill assures him that although he is proud of him and that he will always have a role in his life, he must attend to something. Liam gives him a hug and hopes that a lunatic and another woman from his past are not involved. Luna tells Bill how terrible she feels about betraying her family, especially Finn, when she first enters the room. Ridge tells Brooke at Eric's that he feels deceived by her. His decision to turn to Taylor makes her feel deceived. She is adamant that she accepted the CEO position for him. He still finds it difficult to purchase that. In order to focus on their future, Brooke informs him that they can only resolve this by being together. Even though it could be challenging, they have previously reconciled. It pains her to know that he is with Taylor. She still begs him to return home, though, because she is committed to him. Taylor is standing next to them when they turn around. She wishes she could claim that this is unexpected. Brooke is accused of the worst type of betrayal by Taylor. Ridge claims that Hope is solely to blame for this. According to Brooke, she has been persuading Carter to reconsider his choice. She acknowledges that none of this should have occurred. Taylor, who is standing between them, believes she feels the same way about getting back together with Ridge. Ridge advises Brooke to return home. She reminds him that he will always look at her as his Logan. They are capable of overcoming any error. Taylor claims she wasn't shocked by what she saw when Brooke left. Ridge claims that he was expecting Brooke to express greater regret. Taylor discusses Brooke's magic tears and her inability to realize how much she has deceived him. She acknowledges that she used to lose it when she confronted Brooke, but she has since grown tougher. They discuss how he assisted her in getting better. She has faith in their future together and in his love for her. They share a kiss. Brooke considers telling Ridge that they have an unbreakable tie when she visits Forrester. She remembers being asked to be Ridge's Logan for eternity when they reunited in Rome. She promises to never give up. Brooke promised to stand up for Ridge. When it came to issues of the heart, Brooke Logan had never been the kind of woman to back down from a battle. Ridge Forrester had been her greatest delight and her greatest heartbreak, and they had been involved in a passionate and complex love affair for years. Their history was full with passionate, treacherous, and redeeming events, and their bond was indisputable. She was confident of one thing now: as she stood on the brink of another conflict for his affections, she would not allow him to leave without a fight. It all began when Ridge's ex-lover and the mother of his kids, Taylor Hayes, returned to the scene with a newfound resolve of her own. Taylor, the lady who stood for security and family in Ridge's life, had always been a fierce rival. However, Brooke possessed something more profound and indisputable, a kinship that had endured over time. She didn't think Ridge would decide to permanently leave her after everything they had been through. The hurt in his eyes and the frustration in his voice were replayed in Brooke's head from their most recent chat. He had charged her of breaking his confidence and made decisions that alienated him. However, Brooke understood that love was about persevering through the chaos and choosing one another in spite of the odds, not only about being flawless. She would also see to it that Ridge saw that. Brooke set out to remind Ridge of their possessions with a newfound resolve. At Forrester Creations, where so many of their memories were entwined, she appeared. As she headed to his office, she moved purposefully through the corridors, her self-assurance unflinching. Ridge was standing by the window, looking out as though he was looking for answers in the skyline, when she entered. "Ridge," she uttered in a quiet yet determined tone. His attitude was reserved as he turned to look at her. "I know things have been complicated between us, but I need you to hear me out." With a groan, he combed through his hair. "Brooke, I don't know if there's anything left to say." "There is," she demanded, taking a step forward. "I love you, Ridge. I always have, and I always will. We've been through so much together, more than most couples could ever endure. And every time, we find our way back to each other. Why should this time be any different?" Ridge let out a breath, averting his eyes for a second before re-engaging with her. "Because I don't know if I can keep doing this. The constant ups and downs, the heartbreak, the betrayals, it wears on a man, Brooke." She said, "I know it does," in an emotional tone. "And I'm not saying we haven't made mistakes. But Ridge, love isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up. And I will keep getting back up for you, for us, because what we have is worth it. Her eyes filled with tears, but she resisted letting them go. She needed him to know how strong she was and how firmly she believed in their relationship. You once told me that we were destiny. That no matter what happened, we would always find our way back to each other. Do you still believe that? Ridge remained silent for a while, his face unreadable. Then he moved slowly in her direction, cupping her face with his hand. I don't know, Brooke, he said to himself. I don't know what to believe anymore. Brooke covered his hand and held it there. Then let me remind you. Let me fight for us. Because I am not ready to give up, and deep down, I don't think you are either. Years of love and suffering collided at that instant, causing the tension between them to crackle. Brooke was aware that this couldn't be the end. She was going to fight for Ridge, no matter what, as she had promised. The Taylor factor, a resurgent rivalry. The fact that Taylor Hayes was once again Ridge's confidant and possible love interest fueled the flames. By portraying Taylor as the remedy for Brooke's manipulative ways, Steffy Forrester publicly supported her mother's reunion with Ridge. Despite her initial reluctance, Taylor delved into her new relationship with Ridge, providing stability and empathy in the midst of the corporate turmoil. When Taylor entered during Brooke's tearful plea and said sardonically, "Brooke," her serene confidence stood in sharp contrast to Brooke's theatricality. I wish I could claim that this is unexpected. Fans criticized the return of the love triangle harshly, pointing out that it was too repetitious. One viewer tweeted, "The Brooke-Ridge-Taylor triangle is tired. It's degrading and ruins both characters," sparking a fury on social media. Given his history of hesitating, even Taylor's allies questioned her decision to return to Ridge. Ridge's acknowledgement that Taylor's integrity and healing presence offered him comfort he no longer experienced with Brooke, however, kept the story going. Corporate conflict, Forrester Creations struggle. A vicious corporate conflict raged alongside the battle for Ridge's affections. In their scheme to retake Forrester Creations, Steffy and Ridge recruited the alluring fragrance designer Daphne Rose to undermine Carter and Hope's authority. As Carter's sorrow over the takeover started to show, Brooke tried to patch things up with him. He admitted, "I never wanted it to go this far," implying a possible story of redemption. Unbearable tension resulted from Brooke's twin roles as CEO and romantic supplicant. Steffy accused her of prioritizing ambition over family as their arguments grew more heated. When Brooke discovered that Steffy and Daphne were plotting against Hope, the power struggle reached its peak and she was forced to decide between her desire for Ridge and her maternal loyalty. The weight of the past, loss and love cycles. The relationship between Ridge and Brooke has always been cyclical, a tug-of-war between treachery and passion. With vows likening their relationship to the seas and mountains, their 1994 beach wedding, a landmark event in B&B history, symbolized their stormy yet enduring love. However, 3 decades later, Ridge compared Brooke's actions to a tsunami, destroying everything in its path, making those same metaphors seem meaningless. There was no denying the similarities to previous battles. When Ridge used derogatory words toward Hope in December 2024, calling her a slut and worthless, Brooke responded, "You sound just like Stephanie." The corrosive habits that plagued the Logan Forrester fight were brought to light by this generational echo. Despite her efforts to change the feud's conclusion, Brooke appeared helpless to stop it. The unraveling, unresolved questions and emotional costs. By February 2025, Brooke was emotionally and professionally isolated as a result of her conflict. She was troubled by Ridge's rejection, "You're my enemy now," and their mother-daughter relationship was strained by Hope's friendship with Carter. With a Pyrrhic triumph in a battle costing her everything, even her title as CEO felt meaningless. But rays of hope continued. Brooke's resolve to give up, "We can overcome any error," it alluded to her renowned fortitude. In the meantime, the story's focus threatened to shift due to Finn's imminent admission of Luna's fatherhood and Luna's covert haven at Bill Spencer's estate. Brooke had always had a keen sense of discernment, a knack for deceit that had been useful in the maze-like hallways of the Forrester Manor. She had endured betrayal and heartache for years, surviving in a world where devotion was frequently as erratic as the weather. But nothing had prepared her for what was about to be revealed, a revelation so sinister and dangerous that it threatened to upend the very foundation of the legacy she had been a part of for so long. It started on a cloudy afternoon when a casual comment made by an unwary employee aroused her attention. There seemed to be an unwritten secret in the estate's hallways, which were typically crowded with covert glances and whispered confidences. Brooke had a gut feeling that something was wrong. She entered a long-neglected wing of the mansion, where dusty documents and forgotten artifacts sat inert, ready to tell their secret tales, determined to find the truth. An old, leather-bound journal hidden behind a row of faded ledgers caught Brooke's eye in a remote archive area. Although its cover was damaged and the edges of its pages were yellowed from age, she was instantly struck by the uncanny relevance of its contents. Brooke carefully turned the fragile pages and found records containing secret meetings, off-the-books transactions, and the names of powerful people whose reputations were based on honor. Every scrawled letter detailed hidden relationships, financial anomalies, and illicit transactions that suggested a long-standing plot. The notebook was a tapestry of dishonesty, a road plan for decades of treachery that intertwined the fates of people who had previously been respected and trusted. All of the journal's words rang with sinister meaning. As Brooke meticulously compared names and dates to previous occurrences at the estate, the truth started to become clear to her. The identities that had been written in faded ink resurfaced in contemporary ledgers, connecting the past to a corrupt present. One of these names in particular chilled her to the bone, a dependable comrade who had long been seen as a rock of devotion but was now entangled in a web of lies. The ramifications were profound. A complex plot had been hatched under the facade of respectability with the intention of upending the Forrester legacy from within as well as enriching a chosen few. Disturbed by her discoveries, Brooke committed herself to solving the puzzle. She started a secret inquiry over the next few days, contacting old acquaintances and having private discussions in the dark. Her new normal consisted of hidden meetings in obscure areas of the estate and late-night gatherings in dark parking garages. The strands of dishonesty became more obvious with each hushed conversation and covert glance, exposing a complex web of illegal activity. The conspiracy was more complex than embezzlement or financial fraud. It was entwined with personal grudges and a desire for power that had weakened the family's foundation. Brooke found herself alone in a quiet hallway one rainy evening with a folder full of damaging documents in her hand as storm clouds collected menacingly overhead. Mirroring the turmoil in her heart, the rain beat down on the windows. A shadow that had long been a silent watcher of the estate's secrets suddenly broke away from the shadows. With eyes full of regret and caution, the man, a former employee known for his unfailing discretion, walked toward her. His voice could hardly be heard over the storm, but he said, "Brooke, you shouldn't have gone this far." But instead of making her fearful, his comments made her fiercely determined. The demand for justice was stronger than the possibility of retaliation, even though she was aware that the stakes were great and the road ahead was dangerous. Brooke's investigation turned into an obsession in the days that followed. She would sit at her desk night after night, scouring the journal's delicate pages under the light of a single bulb, her fingertips following the fading ink as she created an exhaustive chronology of events. The evidence, which included coded communications spoken in whispered tones, secret meetings held at midnight, and financial documents modified to siphon off millions into offshore accounts, formed a somber picture of treachery. The extent of the conspiracy became increasingly clear with each fresh piece of evidence. What had at first appeared to be isolated instances of corruption turned out to be a part of a systematic attempt to destroy the very organization that had defined the Forrester legacy for many years. But Brooke felt like she was being watched as she moved farther into the maze of lies. Even amid the well-known halls of the estate, paranoia began to creep in, and late-night phone calls with distorted voices pushed her to give up her search. Footsteps resounded in deserted hallways, shadows darted at the periphery of her eyesight. Brooke's resolve just became more resolute in spite of these warning indications. Her conviction that the truth was too crucial to be suppressed was strengthened by each threat and warning that was whispered. Numerous lives would be lost and the family's reputation would be permanently tarnished by betrayal and greed if she didn't reveal the corruption. As she compiled her research into a well-structured dossier, Brooke started getting ready for the impending encounter. The dossier was more than just a compilation of papers. It was a declaration against injustice and a thorough account of all the dishonest actions that had compromised the Forrester dynasty's integrity. She wrote an anonymous letter to a trustworthy journalist who was known for exposing corruption without fear while she was in her study, with thunder rumbling outside and rain obscuring the scene outside her window. To create an unquestionable case against individuals who had violated their oaths and abused their positions of authority, every detail was meticulously documented, including names and dates.